Get careful so that you don't drop your shims. There's the forward. Now I'm going to repeat the process for the back. Okay, now what I've done on the rear cylinder is that I have reinstalled my chain with the exhaust lined up with the copper, in lined up with this copper, down on the middle sprocket where it's top dead center. I've got one copper on each side so that my chain is lined up properly. And when I got my chain lined up properly, I took my caps and put my caps back on in the order and where I took them off. So now what I got to do is torque these down. Now I'm good to go. I'm going to repeat this process to the front cylinder, coming up the front sprocket, lining up top dead center, lining up in, the exhaust in the end, and we'll take her from there. Okay, when you put your chain on your sprocket, when you bring it up, make sure you line your chains up with your guides on the inside. If you don't, you'll get a bind and you won't be able to get your cams on. Okay, as you can see, the top of the cylinder, I have the cams back in, I have my caps. I just want to point this factor out to you that on the caps there's numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4. These numbers are actually like an arrow. 1 and 4, the arrows are pointing in toward the center of the cylinder. 2 and 3 pointing in toward the center of the cylinder. Alrighty, now that everything's all buttoned up on the top side, all I did was just put my valve cover gaskets back on. And I'm going to clean them up. Next thing I'm going to do is probably put the alternator cover back on before I start assembling the top. So on with putting the alternator cover on. Alright, Miss Camera Woman over there with her camera, so don't blame me about it. Anyway, the alternator cover is back on. Now I'm going to move to the top of the engine again and start reassembling everything on top, such as the thermostat housing, fuel injector lines, and all of that. So we're going to move on. We'll be back. Alright, I put the main components of the fuel rail back in. When I did this, remember, put the rear injector in first, swivel, put in your other injector, then kind of let it relax right there, it'll stay. Then put in your sensor here, then go ahead and put in your new boots, these are new for me, and then tighten everything down. The next thing I got to do is put my thermostat housing back on with my other connector, put my spark plugs in, my coil packs on, and I'm ready to put the motor back into the bike. Okay, as you can see, the throttle body is complete. Okay, we'll go there. The thermostat housing, what I did is I plugged the electrical connector in first before I pushed in my O-rings on my plastic connectors as I did here, and then I tightened it down. The next thing I did is I put in my spark plugs, and then I re-put in the coil packs that are sitting on top of these cylinders. This engine right now is ready to go back into the bike. So anybody want to come over and help? Come on. As for now, we'll see you later when the engine gets back into the frame.